Hey, it's JC. Welcome to Urban Knife Guy, where we explore the urban lifestyle and jungle survival. Today we're going to have a look at a nylon knife sheath survival kit. But first, if you watch this channel regularly but have not subscribed, please do so to help the channel out. Thanks. Over the years, I have designed various survival kits built around knife sheaths. Here are some examples. This is my Mora Companion. It's a very popular budget fixed blade, but I've built and wrapped different components around the sheath. So you'd like to check out the video, I've done a full review on this. Do check out the link in the card above or the description below. This is my parang survival kit. So this is a custom-made parang for myself. My design, only a few in the world. But more importantly, for today's discussion, we're talking about the kit. So various items over here, including a Mora Companion. And then we've got a lighter, fire-making capabilities with a ferro rod, and we've got a straw with cotton wool infused with Vaseline. And we've got some fire cord and a compass as well. So I've talked about this in a dedicated video as well. So today I'm going to talk about this, a nylon sheet. So previously, those two that you saw, they're plastic sheaths. For the parang, that's a Kydex sheath, which is also a thermoplastic. But with a lot of fixed blades that you get these nylon sheaths, and they can range from very well made to not very well made. Now this particular one is the Tops Yakari. It's a machete, although I consider this a Golok style parang. But machete being, used in the Western world to describe this sort of large knife. Now, I'm not going to talk about this knife in this video so much because I'm going to do a separate video on that. Today, I'd really like to focus on the sheath and some things that I've put inside to form kind of a kit. Now, we use the word survival kit, but use that loosely. And this is really a backup redundancy kit because in my pack and in my belt pouches, I do have a proper emergency survival pouch. So this is really seen as a backup. And I'm not saying that you only need this setup to go out in the jungle and you can survive. No, these are just redundancies in the event you lose something, or yes, maybe in a situation you really happen to get out and you only have this kit. At least you have some capabilities that can help you out in the wild. So this is the nylon sheath. Now, how do you tell the sheath is good quality? Definitely, of course, from the material, the thickness, and then the fit and finishing. You want to have this sort of capping around the edges with stitching, and sometimes there are rivets to hold everything in place better. You want a good kind of strap or system that retains the knife inside so that it will not fall out. There's often some way to attach the knife to a belt pack. In this case, this is just a belt carry, but I'm going to show you my preferred system for carrying a parang or a big knife like this. And many times you also have a pouch in front. Normally it's for you to put various things, right? Like maybe a sharpening stone or maybe a survival kit like this. And one very important factor for the good pouches, for the nylon pouches, there's a plastic insert inside, and that's so that it protects the sheath from the knife blade. So this is a large knife, so it's a 10-inch blade. So here's an example of a smaller nylon pouch of a smaller knife. This is the Line Steel M3, and you can see inside there is a plastic sleeve or insert, right? That's to protect the nylon pouch, and this is also a very well made pouch. And it's got a MOLLE system, attachment system, so that you can actually strap it to your belt or to a pack. And it's got that front pouch. Obviously smaller, really depends on the sheath, but the principles that I'm going to apply here will apply to any sheath. Now, one thing about nylon sheaths, I would say, is the durability over time. You can see one of the common things is the restraining strap here, or the retaining strap gets cut up. And that's why I switched to a Kydex sheath for this particular knife. And in time to come, I definitely will be making a Kydex sheath for this parang, but I thought maximize the usage of the nylon sheath. It's definitely gonna last me, I would say, easily 6 months to a year, depending how often I go out into the jungle. So let's talk about the setup and share with you my ideas of what you can include in such a kit. All right, let's just talk about the obvious, the outside. Always like to put Ranger bands they secure around the sheath quite well. I've talked about how to make these Ranger bands. You can check out the video in the link in the card above or description below as well. So great fire extenders, great use of course to hold things together if needed, and in this case you can also hold something to the back end. This is a whistle, and this is a very nice flat style whistle that comes with a lot of the tops fixed blades, so that is just that. And then nothing else except for the main component over here, which is the pouch. Now for this particular nylon pouch, it's pretty nice in terms of how it's made. Besides just having that flap and a clip, it's also got this elastic around, and that's really to hold the things inside better. But then you can take advantage of it to add other items. In this case, I've got some fire cord. So this is paracord, but it's got extra filaments and elements inside in terms of the strands. So there's a fire tinder cord, there's also a fishing line, so just a bit more functionality than your usual paracord. And I've got 3 meters worth here that just is held in place over there. And on the inside I've also got a flashlight. So I've got many of these Olight IR2 because I think they're small, they're compact, but they're bright, don't take up much space, and fairly water resistant as well. And I have this on this lanyard so that when it's stuffed inside, it's easy to pull out. So in the jungle, generally I do not go there late at night, but in the event if I'm ever out in the day and for whatever reason I'm delayed and I'm caught and I'm still stuck there as night falls, I think it's always important to have the light. Again, this is just a redundancy, but it's good to have that in a kit to find your way around. And if you need to make fire and you're in complete darkness, you need to be able to have some form of light to set up your fireplace. Now, the rest of the kit is basically packed into a bag, and that's this waterproof bag over here. Let's just put this away for a while and let's have a look at the various items inside. You can see a whole bunch of stuff, and I would say that most of these, because I'm really building this for the jungle, the outdoor environment, I'm looking more at fire making capabilities. As mentioned, this is not a complete survival kit. There's no way you could build a full kit around, I think, a knife pouch unless it becomes comically large, which I've seen before, and I don't agree with that as well. So if you talk about water purification, first aid and stuff like that, that's with the primary survival or emergency pouches. But over here I've got my survival lighter, and I've talked how I put this together. Underneath here we have this Kevlar thread, but we've got some duct tape, and we've also got some thread inside with a needle. We've got some waxed hemp wick over here. Just overall, just kind of a survival kit, and that is covered with this shrinking insulated rubber sleeve to make it waterproof. When you're out in the jungle, which is often humid and wet, it's often difficult to find tinder and kindling. Now you could cut firewood, process it down, and then you could of course get shavings or make feather sticks to get that tinder. But again, sometimes it's really soaked through and you need that initial tinder, dry tinder, to get that going. So it's always good to carry that on you, and I always have that. And I've got various types of tinder. So this is just raw jute rope, so you can tease out the strands, you can get a nice bird's nest, and that catches a spark very easily from a ferro rod. Inside over here I've got cotton wool infused with petroleum jelly, and that's stuffed into this sealed straw to make it waterproof, and there's 1 full ball's worth over here, and also this highly flammable will catch a spark as well. And then you can also have some shavings from fat wood or get splinters out to help with that kindling process. And then I have this favorite, wax jute. So this is also jute rope, but thicker jute rope. This is about 10 millimeters and is waxed so that it really burns like a wick, and I've taught how to make this as well in a previous video. And then for the fire making capabilities to create a spark, I've got some magnesium ferro rod over here. So that's a ferro rod, that's magnesium. Again, use a scraper over here to scrape that out to get that magnesium. And if you want to, again, add it here. So depending, of course, what's out there and what you can collect, you decide what to use when you're out there. And over here I've got just another piece of metal, but this is actually a little knife file. Again, when you're out, one of the things you want is make sure that your primary blade, in this case that yakari which I'm carrying, is going to be touched up, sharp enough to do tasks that I need. So it doesn't take up much space, and that can go inside over there, and it can be used as a kind of a mini striker for the ferro rod as well. I've got one more item inside over here, and that's simply some flattened out, rolled out duct tape. That's right, in this case this is gaffer's tape because it's less sticky. I've probably got about 4 feet here, and it's wrapped around a plastic sleeve or card, so that makes it really nice and flat. It doesn't take up much space, but again, duct tape, really good for general purposes. I guess you could use this for first aid in an emergency if you have nothing else. And again, of course, this is a great fire extender as well. So one last thing I'd like to talk about this kit is the way I carry my parangs in general. Now, for any large knife, generally I would say probably over 6 or 7 inches at least. So that's what I consider a large knife. Hanging it from the belt to me makes it really hard to get at and deploy just because it's so long, unless you wear it very low, or maybe you use a dangler style sheath, and that allows you then to draw a long knife easily. But with such a long knife, I do not like to have a dangler system. It's okay maybe if I'm at base camp, I'm just within a very confined area, I'm working, moving around within the camp. I do not mind this on a dangler system by my side, dangling around. But if I'm hiking to my location and I'm hiking 3, 4, 5 kilometers, I do not want this dangling, hitting my legs and just getting in the way as I'm trying to climb up a path. And as I said, I do not like to also wear it on sheath because I can't deploy it. Of course, the alternative is to put it in your pack. Yes, that's definitely an option, or you can strap it to the pack. But my preferred system is to use a sling. And I have this over here. This is actually a tactical sling. So a sling that's used for rifles mainly. And I have a carabiner over here. So let's just open up one side so you can see how it looks like. So, and there's a reason for that carabiner. All right, so this is the sling itself. Now you notice in my other parang kydex sheath, I also have that same setup, so my sling would click onto here. Right, but because this sheath is made differently, the way to do that is to actually, make use of the belt loop. So the way I do it, to make sure that things don't get tangled up, I basically push this inside here and pull that through, and then I make sure that everything is straightened out, and I put that there, and then now I slip this back inside. And now this doesn't move, right? The thing you don't want with a sling is for it to slide around. So this, just due to the nature of the shape and fitting it inside, it actually now kind of just holds in place over there. And this can just be worn on the body with a cross sling or a back sling. So this is my setup for carrying a large knife like a parang and the incorporated survival kit. Have you put together a survival kit for a nylon knife sheath before? Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you have any suggestions for something to add or for anything to take out? I'd love to hear from you as well. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content in general, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.